صلى الله عليك يا سيدي ويا مولاي وابن مولاي يا أبا عبد الله يا رحمة الله الواسعة ويا باب نجاة الأمة ويا عبرة كل مؤمن ومؤمنة ما خاب والله من تمسك بكم وأمنا من لجأ والتجأ إليكم يا ليتنا كنا معكم سادتي فنفوز فوزا عظيما. قال الله تعالى في محكم كتابه الكريم وقوله الحق وهو أصدق الصادقين أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم وقاتلوا في سبيل الله الذين يقاتلونكم ولا تعتدوا إن الله لا يحب المعتدين. Sway your tongues and bless your gathering with remembrance of Muhammad and Ali Muhammad. In the gift to the soul of Sayyidina Mawlana AlQazwini, recite the second salawat. To hasten the reappearance of Sayyidina Mawlana Sahib al-Asr wa Zaman and to bless this gathering with Allah's infinite mercy and compassion, recite the third salawat with the loudest of your voices. ISIS or ISIL, the Islamic State of Iraq and Levant, declared the Islamic Khilafah or Caliphate in June 2014. And it is growing in different parts of the Islamic world with its strength. Numbers and polls indicate that the Daesh armed forces are more than 30,000 men with an annual budget of over $1 billion. On their flag, on their standard, the name of Allah and the name of the Messenger of Allah is carried. The most sacred and fundamental statement in the religion of Islam. La ilaha illallah, Muhammad Rasulullah. They adhere to the religion of Islam. They read the Quran. they observe the fast, and they carry Islamic names. However, they have killed more Muslims than any other army, any other country, and any other political system in the contemporary era. Their brutality makes headlines on a daily basis. Whether it is the killing of thousands of innocent people in one day at the Spiker massacre, or the burning of innocent human beings alive, the taking of innocent human beings as slaves and enslaving them and selling them in the slavery market, or amputating the limbs of innocent human beings, and at times even playing football with amputated heads. All in the name of Islam, all in the name of the Quran, all in the name of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wa sallam, and yet we claim, and we believe, and we attest, that the religion of Islam is a religion of mercy. The religion of Islam is a religion of compassion. The religion of Islam is a religion of tolerance, a religion of peace. In fact, we believe that the most loving and peaceful religion in the world is the religion of Islam. صلى على محمد وآل محمد. However, if today an average Joe here in Australia comes and tells you, are you a Muslim? Yes. Do you believe in the Quran? Yes. Do you believe in La ilaha illallah Muhammad Rasulullah? Yes. Do you carry Islamic names? Yes. Then what's the difference between you and Daesh? What's the difference between you and ISIL? What would we say? What would our answer be? Or, if a pastor like the pastor in the United States who was burning the Quran, Pastor Terry Jones, he says, I will burn the Quran because the Quran is against Christians. The Quran is against the Jews. The Quran has verses that speaks of killing of innocent people. Allah, how is He a merciful God if He orders the Muslims to kill? If He orders the Muslims to fight? What would our answer be? Are we prepared and well trained to give convincing answers in defense of Islam, in defense of the Quran? And like I said, the majalis of Imam al-Hussein, the reason why we are gathered here, especially you youngsters, my friends, is to enlighten our minds and our souls with the Quran and to become the deputies and representatives and messengers of Islam. And we cannot do that without educating ourselves, without studying and analyzing and examining the verses within the Holy Quran. And that is the effect of the majalis. That indeed is the effect of Imam al-Hussein salawatullahi wa salamuhu alayhi. As Imam al-Hussein was moving towards Iraq, he was moving towards Karbala, he stopped at a resting point. They told him, Ya Ibn Rasulullah, we're stopping too early. We can continue Imam al-Hussein said, no, I have a special plan here. So they put out the tents, they rested. Then Imam al-Hussein sent his messenger to a neighboring village to meet a man by the name of Zuhair ibn al-Qayn. Zuhair ibn al-Qayn was known to be Uthmani al-Hawa. He was amongst the supporters of Uthman, who stood against Al-Imam Amir al-Mu'mineen in the Battle of Jamal and in the Battle of Siffin. He himself, Zuhair ibn al-Qayn. And he was an enemy of Imam al-Hussein. When he heard that Imam al-Hussein is camping near him, he told his wife, let's pick up and leave. I don't want to be near Hussein ibn Ali. If I'm going to be near Hussein, there's going to be problems. Let's pick up and leave. While he was preparing to leave, so that he's not in close proximity of Imam al-Hussein, the messenger of Imam al-Hussein arrived. He says, Imam al-Hussein sent you his salam, Zuhair, and he says he would like to meet with you. So go and meet with him. Zuhair was eating. He put his food down. He says, you want me to go and meet Hussein? To the messenger of Imam al-Hussein. He says, I am just a messenger, conveying the invitation of Imam al-Hussein. His wife, Dalham, she says to him, Ya Zuhair, and he was a powerful man, a strong man, a brave man, Sayyidul Qawm. She says, Ya Zuhair, didn't you just finish Salah? Didn't you just end your Salah? He said, yes. She said, who's this Muhammad that you mentioned in your adhan? And who's this Muhammad that you mentioned in your iqamah? He said, he is Rasulullah. She said to him, who is Hussein? He said, he is the grandson of Rasulullah. He says, Zuhair, aren't you ashamed of yourself? Are you not ashamed that the son of Fatima and the grandson of Rasulullah is inviting you and you're not going? So she convinced him, Dalham, his wife, convinced him, and he went and he met with Imam al-Hussein as an enemy, as an opponent, as a Uthmani al-Hawa. He came out moments later, not too long, probably less than the time that you spent sitting here in the majlis of Imam al-Hussein. He sat on the back of his horse, galloping back to his wife. He got there, he said to his wife, he was a very rich man. I give you all my belongings, all the lands, all the property, everything that I own. Now you're the owner of it. And I'm going to divorce you today, so that you can live a free life. She said to him, Zuhair, what happened to you? He says to her, that's my life now does not belong to me. My life now belongs to Imam al-Hussein. I am going to shift myself to the camp of Hussein to defend Hussein. And Imam al-Hussein has informed me that there is no victory. We will be annihilated. And I want to give my life to the son of Fatima. She says to him, Zuhair, moments ago you were not even willing to meet with Hussein. Now you're telling me you want to sacrifice yourself for Imam al-Hussein? Then, O Zuhair, you will be the sacrifice for the man, and I will be the sacrifice for the woman. With the sister of Hussein, Zainab bint Amir al-Mu'mineen, we will both join the camp of Hussein and we will leave the dunya. Once you're here in the majlis of Imam al-Hussein, brothers and sisters, the effect and the spirit of Imam al-Hussein is with us. Thus we take this information and then we become the ambassadors of Islam, the ambassadors of the Quran and the ambassadors of Imam al-Hussein. responses, those are bad guys. Really doesn't make sense. We have to have fundamental responses. If you believe in the same Quran, how is it that you understand the Quran differently than this man? That is your explanation. How is it that you can convince them that the Islam of ISIS is not the correct Islam? In fact, it is not Islam. What you believe in and what you practice is the legacy of Rasulullah Muhammad and the continuation of the message of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa alayhi. And tonight, I have chosen to discuss with you an extremely important verse within the Holy Quran. An extremely important ayah that sets the paradigm of jihad within the Holy Quran. And I want you to pay undivided attention. The ayah is in chapter 2, Surah Al-Baqarah, verse 190. Allah says, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. وَقَاتِلُوا فِي سَبِيلِ اللَّهِ, and fight in the sake of Allah. الَّذِينَ يُقَاتِلُونَكُمْ, those who fight you. وَلَا تَعْتَدُوا, and do not transgress. إِنَّ اللَّهَ لَا يُحِبُّ الْمُعْتَدِينَ. Let's examine this ayah. وَصَلُّوا عَلَى مُحَمَّدٍ وَآلِ مُحَمَّدٍ. First of all, why was this ayah revealed? And what is sabab al-nuzul of this ayah? You all know that Rasulullah was prosecuted in many ways. And his companions were prosecuted in many ways. And they were driven out of the city of Mecca. And from the 7th to the 10th year after the Ba'tha of Rasulullah, they had to live in a confined camp. Quraysh would not sell to them. They would not buy from them. Some men had to leave their wives and their families. Businesses were shattered. Torture homes were made in the center and the downtown of Mecca to torture the Muslims and the followers of Rasulullah publicly. And amongst the first martyrs in those torture homes were whom? The parents of Ammar ibn Yasir and Sumayya. And Rasulullah would go and watch them being tortured because he was outnumbered. He did not have an army, he had no protection. And he would just be able to tell them, Sabran ya ala Yasir. Sabran ya ala Yasir, فَإِنَّ مَوْعِدَكُمُ الْجَنَّةِ. Be patient, O the family of Yasir. Soon you will be embraced by Jannah. You will be embraced by paradise. Therefore, Rasulullah had to leave the city of Mecca to Medina. When he went to Medina, he was faced with wars. And the 2nd year after the Hijrah. And the 3rd year after the Hijrah. And the battles continued until Rasulullah in the 6th year was able to have some peace. 6th year after the Hijrah of Rasulullah from Mecca to Medina, he established himself, he established the masjid in Medina, the community of Muslims grew stronger, there were more allies with Rasulullah, so Rasulullah decided after 6 years that he's going to return to Mecca, not to live in Mecca, but to perform the minor pilgrimage known as Al-Umrah, the minor pilgrimage. So he gathered his companions, and they were going from Medina towards Mecca. When they reached an area known as Hudaybiyah, they were intercepted by the pagan Arabs, the mushriks, the mushrikeen. They said to him, Ya Muhammad, why are you coming towards Mecca? He says, to perform the Umrah. They said to him, you're not welcomed. you and your companions are not welcomed in Mecca. Why? Because your companions are our ex-slaves. Your companions that will be coming with you claim that they and a man of Quraysh and an Arabian man and a man from Abyssinia and Persia are the same. They're equal. And we don't want you to come to Mecca and propagate this message. And you will then motivate more people to become Muslim and to join you, and we don't want that. Therefore, you go back and return next year. But when you return at a specific time, we will empty Mecca so that you, the Muslims, come and you perform the minor pilgrimage and you leave. The companion said to him, Ya Rasulullah, do not write a peace treaty with them. We don't need to go into a peace treaty with them because now we have a powerful army. Because now we're strong. Now we don't need to delegate with them. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, no, indeed we will have a peace treaty. And they wrote what's called Sulh Hudaybiyah. Sulh Hudaybiyah ensured peace and security for all the tribes within the Arabian Peninsula. Something that had yet not occurred in the history of the Arabian Peninsula. As in, two tribes in the Arabian Peninsula would fight one another for hundreds of years. Aus and Khazraj would kill one another. They were in an ongoing battle and war except in Ashhur al-Hurum. In Ashhur al-Hurum they would stop the war. As soon as Ashhur al-Hurum would end, they would continue for hundreds of years to kill one another. There was no one able to make peace amongst them. Because their mentality was that a man, an Arabian man, as a man who earns his living through the sword, as a man who, if he puts his sword away, he's put his dignity away. He's put his honor away. Therefore, they would raid each other, they would kill each other, and they would make ends meet. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, with the Sulh Hudaybiyah, every tribe needs to take side. Either with Muhammad ibn Abdullah, or he needs to take side with Quraysh and the people of Mecca. We will protect the tribes that seek asylum to us. You, Quraysh, will protect the tribes that seek asylum to you. And therefore we will establish peace in the entire Arabian Peninsula. Look at the move of Rasulullah. They agreed. And there was from that day onward peace in the Arabian Peninsula. As in, if you're from Aus, you're afraid to travel by yourself. Because if you travel from Mecca to Medina, or from Medina to Sham, or from Sham to Iraq, and you're intercepted by the caravan of Khazraj, they'll kill you. They'll steal your goods. And there were many robbers. There were many gangs and gangsters that would intercept business caravans. And they would steal their goods. And this is how they made ends meet. By the sword. So from the day that Rasulullah signed this peace treaty, he demolished those gangs. He brought security and peace to the Arabian Peninsula. Why? Because Rasulullah had a message. The message was not through violence. The message was a message that had to resonate in their hearts, had to resonate in their souls. And he could not battle, that was constantly thinking of killing each other. He had to do that while there was peace and order, so he established peace and order for himself. And then he came to the impoverished Muslims. Quraysh had robbed them from everything they had. And he told the impoverished Muslims that it is time for you to begin farming and agriculture. They said to him, Ya Rasulullah, you want me to leave my sword and work at a farm? This is the biggest shame. We make our money through the sword. We make our money through raids and killing. You're telling me to work at a farm? Rasulullah then became the first person to begin farming in front of them, digging wells in front of them. And that is how Rasulullah was able to establish a powerful economy. And he changed their mentality that honor comes through killing. Honor comes through bloodshed. Honor comes through terrorizing others. Rasulullah then told his companions after Sulh Hudaybiyah, they were wearing their ihram, shave your heads, slaughter the sacrifice, and return to Medina. They did so. The next year, they were planning in the 7th year to go from Medina again to Mecca, because this was the agreement. Wearing the ihram, about to enter the city of Mecca, the pagan Arabs realized Muslims are coming with Rasulullah without carrying any weapons. Muslims cannot carry weapons in Masjid al-Haram. They cannot carry weapons and engage in battle in Masjid al-Haram, next to the Kaaba. Therefore, they're only coming with 2 garments of ihram. And Muhammad's coming with them. So it is indeed the best time to annihilate them, to kill them. The Muslims came, Ya Rasulullah, this is going to endanger us. We're going towards Mecca, and those people understand that we cannot engage in war there, and they're going to kill us. So the ayah was revealed, 190 of Surah Al-Baqarah. وَقَاتِلُوا فِي سَبِيلِ اللَّهِ, and fight in the sake of Allah. What does it mean, fight in the sake of Allah? It means don't fight for the sake of pride. Don't fight for the sake of glory. Don't fight for the sake of money. Don't fight for the sake of expanding your empire. Don't fight for the sake of oil. Don't fight for the sake of selling weapons to other countries and invading them. Don't fight for the sake of humiliation of other nations. Don't fight only to show your strength and your muscles. Fight for the sake of Allah. Okay. الَّذِينَ يُقَاتِلُونَكُمْ, those who come to fight you. This is the very first rule that Allah establishes. الَّذِينَ يُقَاتِلُونَكُمْ, those who have come with drawn swords in your faces to kill you and fight you. Then Allah says, وَلَا تَعْتَدُوا, do not transgress. Meaning those who have fought you, you fight them. You remove the evil. Now there is no need to continue the battle, but you continue because you say, they killed one, we killed 10 of them. They killed my uncle, I killed 5 of their uncles. Allah says, وَلَا تَعْتَدُوا, you cannot transgress. إِنَّ اللَّهَ لَا يُحِبُّ الْمُعْتَدِينَ, for Allah dislikes the transgressors. You're fighting for His sake, but if you transgress, then Allah dislikes this fighting. What does this mean? This, brothers and sisters, means that the Islamic battles are no longer offensive. You cannot engage in battle. You cannot start a battle. You cannot attack. You cannot invade. You cannot take slaves and captives for the sake of showing your power and strength. You await. If you're attacked, then you defend yourself. So the battles in Islam are all defensive. But you read, and the Quran says, وَقَاتِلُوا, fight. فِي سَبِيلِ اللَّهِ, and the way of Allah. If I have not read the Quran and understanding, if I don't know why this verse was revealed, when was it revealed? What is it speaking of? Yes, I read the Quran and I say, God is telling us to fight. How can He be a merciful God? How can He be a compassionate Lord? He's ordering us to fight, carry weapons, and fighting will definitely have casualties, will definitely have people who will fall ill, who will die. But when I understand why the verse was revealed, when I understand the philosophy behind the dissension of the ayah, is when I better can explain it to others. Is when I illuminate myself with understanding the Quran. That is why, brothers and sisters, sababun nuzul, the reason behind dissension, is extremely important, especially for the followers of Ahlul Bayt. For you to understand sababun nuzul. Why was this verse revealed? You cannot understand the Quran without understanding sababun nuzul. What do I mean? Meaning you read an ayah in the Quran, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, Surah Al-Ahzab, verse 33, إِنَّمَا يُرِيدُ اللَّهِ لِيُذْهِبَ عَنْكُمُ الرِّجْسَ أَهْلَ الْبَيْتِ وَيُطَهِّرَكُمْ تَطْهِيرًا. And without sababun nuzul, many people will come and tell you this ayah contains the wives of Rasulullah, the uncles of Rasulullah. This ayah, for example, does not speak of the issue of Usma. But when you understand sababun nuzul and the history surrounding it, then there is no ambiguity. It is clear. There is no place for questioning the meaning of the ayah. Tariq al-Kabir, authors Imam al-Bukhari, says for 9 months Rasulullah would come and stand in front of the house of Fatima after this ayah was revealed. And in the house of Fatima, there was Fatima, Ali, Hassan and Hussein. And he would stand before every salah, and he would raise his voice in front of the companions and the Muslims. Assalamu alaikum ya ahl bayt Rasulillah. Innama yuridu Allah liyudhhiba ankum ar-rijsa ahl al-bayt wa yutahhirakum tatheera. Here Rasulullah, with the surrounding history of the ayah, explains to me in a way that there is no ambiguity. It is clear that it is only those 5 individuals that this ayah speaks of. Therefore, we have to make sure we examine and analyze sababun nuzul. So Allah says, وَقَاتِلُوا فِي سَبِيلِ اللَّهِ الَّذِينَ يُقَاتِلُونَكُمْ وَلَا تَعْتَدُوا إِنَّ اللَّهَ لَا يُحِبُّ الْمُعْتَدِينَ. Allah makes it clear that all Muslims, your wars and your battles are ought to be defensive, not offensive. And another verse, Allah says, أُذِنَ لِلَّذِينَ يُقَاتِلُونَ بِأَنَّهُمْ ظُلِمُوا وَأَنَّ اللَّهَ عَلَى نَصْرِهِمْ لَقَدِيرٌ. Allah has given permission to those who have seen injustice, those who have seen tyranny, أُخْرِجُوا مِنْ دِيَارِهِمْ بِغَيْرِ حَقٍّ إِلَّا أَنْ قالوا ربنا الله. Their only crime is that they have declared Allah to be their Lord. They have been driven away from their home. They have seen oppression. Allah has given them permission to fight and defending themselves. Therefore, brothers and sisters, the religion of Islam is not against the Ahlul Kitab. It's not against the Christians. It's not against the Jews. In fact, the Quran sets a paradigm of respect and honor towards people that have disagreement with the religion of Islam. Says, Ya Rasulullah, you should be the first person to establish a dialogue between you and those who do not believe in you. Those who have not embraced you and your religion. You begin. قُلْ يَا أَيُّهَا الْكَافِرُونَ. Go tell the pagans, the idol worshippers. You are kafir. You rejected me. لا أعبد ما تعبدون. I do not worship what you worship. We had a major disagreement. You worship idol, I worship the one and only Allah. وَلَا أَنْتُمْ عَابِدُونَ مَا أَعْبُدُ. And you will not worship. We have an understanding. We will not force you to worship Allah. We will not give you two options, either the sword or Islam. لَكُمْ دِينُكُمْ. What do you mean? To you belongs your faith, and to me belongs my faith. Then we live in harmony and tranquility and peace. This is when it comes to the kuffar. However, when it comes to Ahlul Kitab, Allah speaks of them and respect and honor. And then, Ya Rasulullah, you initiate the dialogue with them. You go to them and tell them, قُلْ يَا أَهْلَ الْكِتَابِ تَعَالَوْا. Come to us. Let us unite. Let us live in harmony and peace. Allah said this 1,400 years ago in the Arabian Peninsula. But yet we've come to this land, and our neighbors are Christians, our neighbors are Jews, and we don't even know them. We have no idea what their names are, what they do, what they believe in. We have no relationship with them. Allah says, Ya Rasulullah, قُلْ يَا أَهْلَ الْكِتَابِ تَعَالَوْا. Come close to us. إِلَىٰ كَلِمَةٍ سَوَاءٍ بَيْنَنَا وَبَيْنَكُمْ أَلَّا نَعْبُدَ اللَّهَ وَلَا نُشْرِكَ بِهِ شَيْئًا. We have one God, and we worship one God. Let us allow that one God to unite us, not divide us. This is the message of Islam. Brothers and sisters, in the time of Christmas, in the time of New Year's, if every Muslim went to 10 neighbors to his right and 10 neighbors to his left, Islam tells us we have a responsibility to 40 neighbors. 40. Neighbors surrounding your homes. But I say 10. You can't do 10? Do 5. You can't do 5? Do 2 neighbors. The one to the right, to the left, and the one to the left. Take them a gift and tell them Happy New Year. That's all. If they travel, tell them we're willing to look over your home, collect your mail, feed your pet. That's all it takes. Wallahi, that's all it takes. To show kindness of Islam to them. Imam al-Sadiq says, كونوا دعاة لنا بفعلكم لا بألسنتكم. Propagate the religion of Islam with your akhlaq, with your manners, not with your tongue. If at work with our akhlaq and our manners we are Muslim, if at the university and ilm and we propagate Islam with our action. What if we only carry our Islam in our name? What's your name, Ali? Muhammad, Jawad, Hassan, Hussein. But with our akhlaq, we have nothing to do with Islam, and Islam has nothing to do with us. Then we have failed in our responsibility towards Islam and towards Imam al-Hussein. Tonight is a night dedicated to a young man who was aware. A young man who knew the importance of standing for the religion of Islam. Qasim ibn al-Hasan. All the youth this evening, inspire yourself with Qasim, with the sacrifice of Qasim, with the steadfastness of Qasim. Imam al-Hussein told him, Ya Qasim, you don't have to go into the battle. In fact, the Imam was not pleased to give him permission. But look at his steadfastness, his yaqeen, his iman. When he was about to go to the battlefield, Imam al-Hussein says, wait, oh my nephew, كيف ترى الموت دونك? How do you find this death that you're approaching towards? He says to him, Ya Aba Abdullah, fi nusratika ahlam. To give victory to you, to stand with you, it is sweeter than honey. Let us take our hearts and our souls, our minds, to the shrine of Aba Abdullah al-Hussein. Only a few nights left. And we are the guests of Hussein, we're the guests of Fatima, we're the guests of Rasulullah in those majalis. We go to him tonight again, and we say to him, Ya Sayyidina wa Mawlana, Inna tawajjahna wa istashfa'na wa tawassalna bika ila Allah. يا سيدنا ومولانا إنا توجهنا واستشفعنا وتوسلنا بك إلى الله وقدمناك بين يداي حاجاتنا. Oh the youth, wallahi, you don't understand what it means for us to be able to sit in a majlis with all those youth. The barakah and the rahmah of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is with them. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala loves to see those youth. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is pleased to see you here in such numbers. So let us raise our voices tonight, all of you, with the youth who surrounded Imam Hussein. You're all Qasim this evening. You raise your voice with Qasim this evening and we say to him, Ya wajihan inda Allah, ishfa' lana. Under the dome of Aba Abdullah. The third time, I want you to say it, asking for Karbala al-Arba'in. Ya wajihan inda Allah, ishfa' lana inda Allah. Qasim was the son of Imam al-Hasan, but he grew up in the house of Imam al-Hussein after he lost his father. And Imam al-Hussein treated him as a son. He did not differentiate between him and his children. But he honored Qasim because he reminded him of his own Imam. Because Imam al-Hasan was the Imam of Imam al-Hussein. And he was Mawlud. So he honored Al-Qasim. And Al-Qasim accompanied Imam al-Hussein to Karbala. After Bani Hashim fell, one after another, Qasim felt that it is time for him. Imam al-Hussein was sitting in the tent. He came in the tent of Imam al-Hussein. Imam al-Hussein, as soon as he looked at him, he could not hold himself. He says, بُنَيَّ قَاسِمْ إِلَيَّ لِكَيْ أَشُمُّكَ وَتَشُمُّنِي. Let me smell you. You remind me of my brother Hassan. He hugged him and he cried. And he says to him, Qasim, you remind me of my brother Hassan, and I cannot give you permission in battle. So he went to his mother. His mother gave him a letter from Imam al-Hasan. She says, take this letter to your uncle. Imam al-Hussein opened the letter, and the letter was written by his father, Imam al-Hasan, saying to him, Qasim, you will remain with your uncle Hussein, and there will be a day in which Imam al-Hussein, your Imam, will be all by himself. On that day, make yourself a sacrifice for your uncle Hussein. When he saw this, Imam al-Hussein then gave him the amam of his father Hassan and the sword of his father Hassan, and he told him, go and say your goodbyes to the woman, meaning to your aunt Zainab and to your mother and to your cousins. He came and he said his goodbyes. Then he went to the battlefield. They looked at him and they saw the beauty of Nubuwwah, the light of Nubuwwah in the face of Qasim ibn al-Hasan. They said, who is this young man? What kind of beautiful face does he have? A face of Iman, but he's so young. What is he capable of? So he went in the battlefield saying, in tankuruni fa ana najlun. إن تذكروني فأنا نجل الحسن. All of us together, huh? All the shabab of Qasim tonight. إن تذكروني فأنا نجل الحسن. سبط النبي والمؤتمن هذا الحسين كالأسير المرتهن بين أناس لصقوا صوب المزون. He went and he fought with bravery until he stood on the side to fix his shoe. When he stopped to fix his shoe, Shibr ibn al-Jawshan said, do not give time for those young men. The grandsons of Ali ibn Abi Talib surround him from every angle. They surrounded Qasim ibn al-Hasan from every angle. They began to throw their spears and their arrows onto him. They landed on his body, then a man struck him with the pole on his head. He fell from his horse. He said, Ya Allah, adrikni. فجاء إليه الحسين كالصقر المنقاض. Imam al-Hussein ran to Qasim. He held him, but he says, بني قاسم يعز على عمك أن يجيبك ولا يغني عنك. He said, I've come to you, O Qasim, but it appears I've come too late. He was taking his last breaths, his last moments. Imam al-Hussein held held his head in his lap. وفارقت روحه الدنيا. أين المنادي وقاسما وسيدا ومظلوما وشهيدا. He picked him and he brought him to the tents of the woman. The woman surrounded Qasim from every angle, crying for him and weeping for him. Allahu Akbar. And what broke the heart of his mother the most is Qasim was in the age of marriage, but he never saw his marriage. And she never saw his marriage. And I tell you, brothers, we have to remind ourselves and we have to pray for those mothers who send their children like the mother of Qasim to fight ISIS and Daesh and the Kafirin and Munafiqeen and Iraq, and then the janazah of her son comes back like the janazah of Qasim ibn Hassan, and then she says, "Oh my son, I never saw your wedding." Allahu Akbar. This is the heart of a mother. So we pray for them this evening. Let us raise our hands in dua. نسألك اللهم وندعوك باسمك العظيم الأعظم الأعز الأجل الأكرم 10 times يا الله 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 يا الله. اللهم إنا نقسم عليك بأحب الخلق إليك محمد وعلي وفاطمة والحسن والحسين. Keep your hands up, keep your hands up. We need them for dua. Oh Allah, every man and every woman present in this majlis with a sin, forgive our sins. Oh Allah, conceal our wrongdoings. Oh Allah, we ask you, every man and woman present in this majlis with a haja, give them their hajat. With an illness, give them cure. Allahumma zubna ziyarat al-Husayn qariban ajila wa shafa'at al-Husayn ajila. Allahumma shafi wa afi kulla marid. Adkhil ala ahli al-qubur al-surur. Shafi wa afi kulla marid. Sudda faqrana bighinak. غير سوء حالنا بحسن حالك. اقض عنا الدين واجرنا من الفقر. تقبل منا هذا القليل باحسن قبولك يا الله. عجل ثم عجل لمولانا الفرج. Please rise. بسم الله